So this is gonna be an interesting day. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that pretty much my first video on this channel was me showing you my entire handheld collection. I've been making videos on YouTube for years now, but I can admit that was probably my worst video ever. It was chaotic, the audio sucked. I had to keep switching cameras because nothing was working right. And we are a little halfway over the year now, and I am 8,000 subscribers later. My collection has grown a lot. I have even more things to show you since that video. So I really wanted to show you every single handheld I have as of August 2025. I have a lot of handhelds I do want, but they're not a huge want just yet. So if my collection changes drastically, I'll remake this video at the end of the year and it can be like a yearly thing. Let's just get into this. Let's start off strong. This is my Steam Deck. I got this beautiful Steam Deck in 2023. I don't use it as much as I would like anymore, and that's entirely because I got a Legion Go. However, I really like that the Steam Deck has an estimated battery life feature. The Legion Go doesn't. So if I'm playing a lot of light PC games, this has been my option for road trips. I've always been of the opinion that the Steam Deck is a better handheld and not really a quote-unquote hybrid experience. I prefer strictly playing the Steam Deck in handheld mode. I did drop this Steam Deck and the port kind of got messed up, so it no longer outputs to a monitor. But when it did, I just wasn't a huge fan of the built-in experience and I didn't want to put Windows on it. So this has just been strictly a handheld, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I did make a Steam Deck tour video way back when, but for those who don't want to go back and watch it, this clear case is from AliExpress. It used to have a back plate with a cute little design on it that you can take out. Obviously I took it out because I replaced the back plate with this beautiful clear purple, and I just love this. I absolutely love how my Steam Deck looks. I am extremely proud of how this looks. It's probably the first handheld console that I have that I like spent so much time customizing to really be my own. I did cut out these little butterfly stickers from AliExpress because they're so thin you can't even really feel them on there. These thumb grips are from Geekshare. They made Steam Deck specific thumb grips and I just thought they looked really nice. And I believe the back plate is from Amazon from the brand Extreme Rate. But yeah, I haven't really played it recently, but I did go on a road trip about a month ago and I played Fields of Mistria on it for the entire road trip and it ended at like half battery. So absolutely love this thing. Next up we have the Legion Go. This has been my go-to handheld PC slash general main PC. I really liked using this one in docked mode just because it runs Windows. But honestly, I haven't really had a problem with using Windows in handheld mode, mostly because I just use Steam. But I did reuse the same butterfly sticker on here. Just thought it looked a lot nicer. Keeps that consistency with my handheld PCs. I bought my Legion Go secondhand, so it did come with this white decal on it, but whoever put it on here did a really good job. I'm a big fan of how it looks in white. I kind of wish they just made a white one in general, but that's whatever. I keep on losing thumb grips for my handheld PCs, but I believe this one is from Geekshare and this one is from Play Vital. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Fields of Mistria. I've played some Keep Driving lately, mostly games that I've been talking about recently, but I've really not had any problems with this, to be honest with you. I'm a huge fan of the Legion Go. I know that the Legion Go 2 is coming out soon, but that just means Legion Go's were cheaper and I wasn't like super ready to drop almost $1,000 on a handheld PC, so I absolutely love this. I love this so much. Let's get a little crazy. This is my launch day 2017 Nintendo Switch with the original kickstand. That is an achievement. Yeah, this thing is really beat up. I usually really take care of my devices. I have no idea how this got so icky looking, but that's all right. I don't really use it anymore, but this is a launch day handheld. It's the first console I ever actually pre-ordered, so this flimsy thing holds a place in my heart. I don't know if any of you remember the launch of the Switch, where if you let your Switch down on a table like this, the tablet had a risk of bending. This one used to. It doesn't really look like it has that bend anymore, but that's good. Anyway, yeah, this thing went through a lot of Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart, that is for sure. I don't think I have much to say besides it is really getting old. Makes me kind of feel bad. Even the joysticks are dusty. Ew. But years later, I upgraded to the Switch OLED. This is the Splatoon limited edition, and it is my favorite. I feel obligated to always bring up that I actually got this off of Temu. It's just such an interesting and weird story. Just because it was before Temu ended up being like a little too too crazy. And they were actually selling real Switches at the time. But I'm very happy that this is still in good condition and it still has this beautiful kickstand that I will never lose. This thing has really stuck with me. I really like the design of this, to be honest with you. Like the screen just looked so good on this thing. It has like no charge right now though, but. And then one fabled day in 2025, I got the Switch 2. And this, I am obsessed with this. It needs a bit of a charge, but this case is from Geekshare. I love how it looks. I put the Steam Deck thingies back on it. Again, keeps that nice consistency with my massive handhelds. And I kind of have nothing to say about my Switch 2 besides I absolutely love it. I do not regret buying it. The kickstand feels exactly like the OLED one, except it doesn't, you know, this whole part. I love this thing, no regrets. And I love just doing this when I'm gaming. Let's move on to the 3DSs. This is my, oh my God. This is my childhood 3DS. It's still in pretty good condition. I mean, it's a little fingerprinty and the stick looks like it's ready to fall apart, but it's still pretty good. I'm still a fan of this color, honestly. But this 3DS, it was kind of when I really started getting into gaming. I had handheld consoles beforehand, but I played all of the like My Little Pony games on there. When Smash Brothers 3DS came out, that is when I really locked in. I played Smash Brothers on here, or at least the demo when the demo first came out. And I was looking through the roster and I was like, okay, I want to know who each and every one of these characters are. Which then led me to YouTube and then Nintendo YouTubers. And then I kind of went through this massive spiral of trying to figure out, okay, looks like I need to play Fire Emblem now. Smash Brothers basically started my love for gaming, and honestly, it all started on this flimsy little thing. So thank goodness for that. I then upgraded to the new 3DS. I begged my mom for this because I wanted to play Xenoblade.
Welcome to the review of the new Nintendo 3DS XL. And look how awesome that looks. Buy Xenoblade Chronicles, it is so fun.
Did I ever beat Xenoblade on this? No, it hurt my eyes too bad. But the new 3DS XL, or I guess even both the new 3DS and the XL, aged really well. I love that they're a bit hefty. It really makes it feel like an actual device in my hands. And she's also a bit fingerprinty, but it's in good condition. I had to replace the stick for this one because it got really gross. Besides that, I've not had to do anything with this one. And under here, it has a decal of a lizard that I got from a trip to Hawaii when I was younger. And I love that. I wonder if there's any, oh, yes there is. Adventure awaits. Indeed. When I really started growing my collection though, I got the original new 3DS. I wanted this so bad as a kid when it came out, but I got this one the day it came out because we didn't have the original just yet in the US. This is definitely one of my favorite looking Nintendo handhelds ever. I have a couple faceplates for it, but I have the Mario engraved one in pink. Thought it looked cute. This one I make the cutesy 3DS because I feel like this one I like to keep how it looks when I was a kid. This one I gave a case, but I didn't really modify it. The 2DS XL is my main, but we'll get there. This one I decided to make all pink and cutesy and all of that jazz. But I'm very happy I have this in my collection because I love how this looks. It's so cute. It's adorable. This is my main 3DS console. It is the new 2DS XL. Orange is my favorite color, so I knew I had to have the orange one. I wonder if it has a charge. I did give it some little Sumiko stickers because they're cute. There's also a butterfly patch that I stuck on there and an orange cat because I have an orange cat in real life. And it has this very nice orange wallpaper. I like orange. I feel like I've yapped about this DS many a times, but this is my favorite. This is such a good road trip companion for me. Now we go to the DS's. This is the DS Lite. This one, to be honest with you, it was only like $20 on eBay, and I kind of made it my project DS, just kind of testing the waters whenever I felt like ripping something open, and I was like, oh, I can just do that with my DS for now. When I bought it, it came with this Sharpie around here, and it also came with black buttons, which I don't mind. doesn't look that bad. But I did replace the outside. It was pretty much my first time digging into a Nintendo console just to mess with it really. And it was mostly because one of the bumpers, I don't remember which one it was, but one of them just wasn't working, and my thought was, well, I'm opening it anyway, let's replace the whole thing. I don't think I fixed the bumper, but it does look really cool. I mostly just keep this for collection purposes and also to look at it and think, oh, I did that. But low-key, might be a hot take, I'm not a huge fan of how a clear DS faceplate looks. I think it looks cool on the bottom, but I'm not a fan of how the speakers look on top, but it's still cool regardless. I had a pink DS Lite growing up, but the childhood one is no longer with me. So this is a nice little reminder of my childhood. This is the DSi XL. This is how I personally prefer to play my DS games. I just think the screen looks a lot better. I love that it's pixel perfect. It's just that perfect upscaling of the original DS screen. And I just really like the size. I'm a big fan of this. I don't know how I feel about these stickers. I can always take them out if I want to, but I've just never really felt the need to. But it's kind of cool, I suppose. Probably one of my favorite of my DS collection. I think if I had to have like a top 3 of the ones I own, I think it would be like these. But this is the GOAT. This is the GOAT right here. I probably said that in my original video. I vaguely remember me going, this is the best thing ever. This is the GOAT. This is the GOAT right here. This is good. Get this. I don't remember. I'm gonna categorize these ones together as the Game Boys and the not Game Boys. I did also make a video of my not so Game Boys, so we're gonna kind of skim over this, but I'll still show you what I got. This right here is my Game Boy Advance SP. I bought this one not too long ago off of Mercari because it is modded with an IPS screen and it just looks really cool. I love the Mountain Dew Xbox vibes that it gives off, but I think the battery needs to be replaced. The seller said it had a new battery, but this thing does not charge. I tried doing the CPR method that Reddit kept telling me to do, but nothing worked, so I'm gonna get a new battery for this. But my first handheld console ever, besides like the Leapfrog, was a silver Game Boy Advance SP. And my first video game that wasn't SpongeBob on the Leapfrog was That's So Raven 2 for the Game Boy Advance SP, which has banger music, so I mean, got that out of it. I don't know if it has any charge. Oh, beautiful. I can't wait to actually use this. I'm hoping to get a new battery for it soon. And also, I really like this Pokemon pattern in it. This is not a Game Boy Advance SP. Though it does play cartridges. This is a hardware clone called the Game Box. I got it on AliExpress years ago. It is pretty much a one-to-one recreation of the SP, except it feels a lot lighter, a lot cheaper. Not super flimsy, but it's still a little flimsy. Does not have a satisfying crack, like, at all. And also I realized that the buttons are a bit flatter and the D-pad kind of sucks, but it's cool to have. It's cool to have a hardware clone. The screen is also a slightly different aspect ratio, which I did talk about in my other video, but it still bothers me to this day. It almost looks more 4:3 than the actual SP. It's weird. It's strange. What isn't strange though is one of my pride and joys. I always like to bring this up when I can. This is my modded Game Boy Advance. I got it from an Etsy seller that no longer makes these, which is super disappointing. I got it from an Etsy seller that no longer sells, but you can still find a lot of but you can still find a lot of Game Boys that look like this on Etsy. Can I speak? But you can still find a lot of sellers that sell similar looking ones on Etsy. It has this really iridescent shell that looks very purplish until you put it in the sun and it turns gold. I always thought that was really cool. Gives it a kind of bubble type of look. And of course it has an IPS screen. It is just gorgeous. I gave it this lanyard recently. Big fan of this. This is not a Game Boy Advance, but it is close. It is pretty much 1-to-1 in aspect ratio and feel to a Game Boy Advance, but this is actually an Anbernic device. Anbernic basically make emulation-focused handhelds. A lot of their handhelds look like handhelds we're familiar with, and a lot of them are pretty unique concepts. This obviously is their take on the Game Boy Advance. It has more bumpers, has a really good screen, and it has hidden X and Y buttons that you can't really see if you choose to ignore it. But I really like playing my Game Boy Advance games on here if I don't feel like taking all the cartridges with me. It also just looks cool. Fan of this. And here are two more Anbernic devices. This one is the 35XX SP, and this is the 34XX SP. They're SPs. They look exactly like the Game Boy Advance SP. This one has a 4:3 screen, and this one has a pretty much like perfect ratio to the original. So GBA games look a lot nicer on here, but 4:3 games look a lot nicer on here. This one also has joysticks that even click in, which is interesting. In the video I made about these, I really couldn't figure out which one I preferred, and I'm still a little torn on it, and I still don't really know. But I really like the look and the vibe of this one, really. It's a chunkier one, and that's really cool. I like that a lot. I am very excited about this one. Let's talk about the PSPs. This right here is my PS Vita. Growing up, I really wanted either a PSP or a PS Vita just to play the Project Diva games. And of course, as someone who has money now, I got all of them. I remember I got this one pre-modded on Mercari. Someone was selling it for a pretty good deal, I remember. And I really like the Vita. I think that PlayStation handhelds just have an aura that is like unmatched, you know what I mean? Like Nintendo handhelds, of course, they're Nintendo handhelds. How can they not be cool? But PlayStation handhelds, look at this thing. This is amazing. And the design has aged beautifully as well. Like, it is just so cool. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of the Vita. I really miss the era when handhelds were, well, first of all, actually like pocket size. This is the size of my phone, but also they were kind of their own multimedia devices. This had a camera, it could play movies, it could browse the internet. So could the 3DS. The Switch 2 can't browse the internet or play movies, it can barely stream movies. It has a camera now, but not the same as like this and other old handhelds, you know what I mean? This was just such a cool take on handhelds and multimedia devices in general. I love the Vita. And now we're getting a bit crazier because I have the original PSP. This is the PSP 1000. I got this for my fiance. It was a little birthday gift for him because he used to have one growing up. The PSP 1000 is a lot chunkier. It kind of has these almost like grips in the back, which I kind of prefer. And also, I prefer it has a switch to let out the disk drive. Like, I kind of like that better. The buttons are a bit more sunken in than other models I've noticed, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's also heftier. It really feels like a handheld console, you know what I mean? I'm a big fan of the original PSP. I'm also a fan of my most recent addition, the Final Fantasy VII PSP. Oh my god. This is actually my current favorite handheld in my collection. Like, I found this on eBay for a pretty good price and I was like, yep, give me that right now. It is beautiful. It is so beautiful. I really like the look of silver devices, especially from the mid to late 2000s era. And I was already on the lookout for a silver PSP, but when I saw this freaking thing, dude, I got so excited once this shipped. I was like, I need this in my hands right now. And it has kind of been my go-to PSP recently, especially to play physical games. I've not messed with the firmware at all yet because I've just been playing my physical games on here. But yes, this is the Final Fantasy VII 10th anniversary PSP, number 15,000 out of the 77,000 that were made. And it has Cloud, Zack, and Sephiroth just chilling there, and I love it. I've been playing through Rebirth recently, which just further ups my enjoyment of this console. And I really like that the buttons are slightly darker. That is so cool. This is a PSP 2000, which is a lot slimmer. It was pretty much called the Slim, the PSP Slim, and it pretty much improves everything from the original. It's a lot lighter, slimmer, cooler in general. I am just a huge fan of this. I put a Noctis wallpaper on it because it's the Final Fantasy console. Isn't it crazy that they were working on Versus 13 when this thing came out? Oh my god. Not a lot of people like the PSP 2000 because the screen had a lot of ghosting problems, and it's not as crisp as the 3000, but I do not care. It is a Final Fantasy VII console. I will be using this. And it arrived in really good condition too. I'm thinking about putting a clear case on this. I have it on my 3000 right now, but I do also have this PSP case that I put them in. I also bought this on eBay, and I have Patapon and Loco Roco in there. I don't know. This has just been my favorite thing recently, and I'm planning on replaying Crisis Core on this, so very excited about that. My pride and joy my favorite PlayStation. And last but not least, we have my 3000. This was my first PSP. I got it pre-modded on Etsy, and I love the 3000 as well. I have most of my digital games on here because it is modded. They look pretty much identical with slight design changes, like the home menu. Instead of the PlayStation logo, it just says Sony up here. And really not a lot of changes. Also, the circle is slimmer, which I think is really cool. I love the design of the 3000. I mean, they're pretty much the same thing, but I love it. And it's also pink, and that's cute. The PSP 3000 is the one that's the most loved. You can always find them on the internet modded and stuff like that, which is how I found mine. And yeah, this is my physical games PSP. This is my digital games PSP. And I could not be happier with these two, honestly. And knowing that I have all three mainline PSP models is pretty cool. I am planning on getting a PSP Go and a PSP Street just to complete the collection, but they're definitely not urgent. I am very satisfied having these three. Let's move on to more emulation handhelds. This is the Miu Mini Plus, and this is the Anbernic RG406H. V, not H. These names are terrible. This one runs Android. It is a very chunky Game Boy, and I love it. I don't really use it as much as I'd like to, but when I do remember that I have a game I want to play on it, I do use this. It can run up to GameCube and PS2, which is impressive in and of itself. And it has cute little Switch thumbsticks, and it just kind of looks like it would come out during the Wii era. And I think that's really cute. I like the 4x3 screen because most games you'd play of that era are 4x3, and it just looks fantastic on here. The Miu Mini Plus is a lovely surprise. I got this from Mech DIY, and the Miu Mini Plus is pretty much one of the more popular, like, affordable retro handhelds you can get. You can really mess with it, and I love this. It's so cute, and I really like the purple. Kind of reminds me of my Steam Deck. This one's a little odd, but we have virtual pets. I decided to include these in here because I saw a lot of people including their own in handheld videos. So if I could unravel these, that would be really cool. Okay. Let's just start with these because, oh, never mind. Let's start with these. These are Littlest Pet Shop virtual pets. These are all from my childhood. I also made a video about these. Oh, this one got scratched. Oh no, it wasn't like that before. That's upsetting. But these are cute little reminders of my childhood, and I love them. I don't know if this one, oh, this one does have battery. There's my little cat, probably mad at me because I haven't paid attention to these in a minute, but I was absolutely obsessed with these growing up. I wanted to collect all of them, and I didn't. These are getting kind of expensive now, so I'm really glad that I kept these. But this one is a little cat, and it has a little cat keychain. Look at that. This one has a little duck, and this one has a little hamster. I love these so much. I have so many fond memories of these. These two are from Miniso. This one I got because it looks like a Digimon. I've never seen the, oh yeah, I took the batteries out because they would not shut up, but I've never seen a ripoff Tamagotchi use the Digimon layout, so I thought that was cool. This one I was gonna get for a friend, but then when I realized how much I didn't like Bunny ROM, which is the software that these are using, I opted in to get her the cryptid other digital pet. I can't remember the brand, but it was an actual good brand, and she's really into cryptid, so I got her that one instead, and I decided to keep this one. I like the heart layout, but I will not be turning it on because they yell at me. They have this weird screen protector that I could just not get off, and this one, it's like so obvious, and this one, I could not rip it off. It looks like it's part of the screen, and it bothers me greatly. This one is dead, but it is the R2-D2 Tamagotchi Mini Nano, and I really like this. I gotta get new batteries for it, but when this was alive, I had a lot of fun just having R2-D2 in my pocket, and I really like this design. It's cute. This is the Tamagotchi Uni, or Uni, and I really like this. This one straight up has Wi-Fi, and you can send pictures to your phone, and it's so cool. It has a lot of online features. They just released a new Tamagotchi called the Tamagotchi Paradise, and it does not have online, and it also doesn't charge with USB-C. It might be a hot take, but I really liked those features. I turned it off because I didn't want my Tamagotchi to die, but I do have Mamechi on here, my absolute favorite. This is my favorite Tamagotchi. It's also my first Tamagotchi. These were my first virtual pets. This is my first Tamagotchi, and I was really intimidated when I first got it, but I'm very grateful that the Uni is a beginner-friendly Tamagotchi because that thing did not die because I am a good mother. and more enters the room. This is the Sumiko Garashi Friend. It has little like faceplates you can put on it. I don't have them with me right now, but I'll pull up pictures. And I'm just a huge fan of the Sumiko Garashi virtual pets. I have another one here. This one has water in it. They all have different themes and it's really cute, and they don't die, which I prefer, but I like that this one's a little water pet. It makes me happy. And this one, you only take care of 2 of them, which also makes me happy. I feel like it's dead. I'm not even gonna try to turn it on. And this is a freaking boba tea thing. This one I will turn on. Oh, it doesn't remember the day. That is not the day, but okay. But you can kind of see the straw pokes through, and then there would be a bunch of little boba swinging around, and you can just, and I love it. It's just a fun little fidget toy. It makes me happy. But I'm gonna turn this off. But yeah, you can see it's like almost 3D, and I think that's cool. Is that everything? No, it is not. We have more. These are the weird ones. I made a whole video essay researching these two because they are so obscure and I could find very little information about them. This is the My Life and this is the Bee Hero. The My Life was a little more popular than the Bee Hero. This one is kind of like the portable Sims games, except it had its own dedicated little handheld device. And it's really unique and strange at the same time. It's also hard as shit, so I didn't really get far with this, but it's very obscure and expensive to find now, so I'm really happy I got my hands on this one. This was new in box as well. The Bee Hero has almost nothing on it. It had maybe a couple YouTube videos and that was it. This thing is so weird and obscure, and it almost freaking caught on fire when I charged it, so it just kind of stays in the handheld bin for now. But this has this one has gotta be the most obscure in my collection. It is so difficult to find any information on this, but this one is a turn-based RPG, kind of similar to classic Final Fantasy, except a lot of your abilities and a lot of your equipment has to be swiped on a card, and then you swipe the card right here. So you just go fling, and then that's it. I really wanted to know more about like the story and in this game. It's so weird, but there's like nothing on it, and I could smell the fumes of this when it was on, so it just kind of stays here, dead until I get to know more about it. It still smells and it's been like months since I've made that video on it, but that's okay because that was actually the last of my collection. I have a leapfrog around here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So thank you for watching me show you my handhelds. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble for a bit. I will be linking a lot of my related videos below if you are curious about any of these. I tend to make videos about specific things a lot, but if you've already watched all of them, thank you. If you were doing chores while watching this video, I hope your chores turned out good. Or if you were eating a delicious meal, I hope your meal really did turn out delicious. And if you were drawing during this video, I hope your drawing turned out great. I can't get this in the middle. Thank you for watching this video. I will be here next week rambling about whatever the heck I can find. So I will see you next week for another video. Bye bye.